So today we are going to be exploiting the Metasploit table using Secure Shell. Secure Shell is a protocol that helps administrators or users of an operating system from one point to connect remotely to another point. Let's say, for example, that you are an administrator and you are found in your home or in a coffee shop, and you want to connect to resources in your office, which is found maybe meters or miles away from you. You can use Secure Shell. So we are going to be looking at the vulnerabilities and how to exploit these vulnerabilities in port 2022, which is Secure Shell. Without wasting much time, let us begin. In front of us is found two operating systems. We have Kali Linux here, and we have the Metasploit table 2 here. So this Metasploit table 2 here is what we actively want to connect to. It's what we want to exploit. So the first thing you must do is you have to look at the IP address of the Metasploit table, because you cannot exploit that which you don't know, or you cannot exploit who you don't know. So the IP address, for us to get the IP address of the Metasploit table, you do an if config. Sorry, my characters are too small. If config, and you can see that our IP address is 192.168.40.130. Now that we have gotten this, you write it down. The second thing is, I would like us to see the type of files that are found in this Metasploit. So why are we looking at these files or files that are found in the Metasploit? We want to be sure that after exploiting the Metasploit table, we can be able to prove that we are able to see files which are found in the Metasploit table from Kali Linux. So if I do ls and I hit enter, you can see that we have a file called Paul here. I created it initially before starting this video. So now we are here in Kali Linux. The first thing you have to do is you do an msf console. MSF console. What are you doing, or what is MSF console? It's time for Metasploit table framework. This is a framework, or this is a tool that is used to exploit the Metasploit table. So now that the framework is opened in front of us, what we can do is we are going to say, since we want to log in remotely using port 22, which is Secure Shell, we say search Secure Shell. It is abbreviated like this, _ login, and I hit enter. Now it gives us two options here. The first option, which is accorded the figure 0, says that auxiliary scanner Secure Shell login Secure Shell, and the second one is auxiliary scanner Secure Shell login public key. What we want is this first information here, this one here. So you come down here and you say use 0. You say use 0. You put 0 like this. Why am I putting 0? Because the auxiliary or the option which you want to use is accorded the number 0. You can as well copy this information like this, and instead of putting 0 here, you put just this option here. But for time purposes, we will not do that. So I hit enter. It takes me now to the auxiliary. We are now inside this auxiliary, or this option that we were given here. So the next thing that we have to now do here is, even if you get confused here, what you do is can say show me options. You are telling the Metasploit to show you options. Sorry, Kali Linux to show you options that you can use in exploiting the Metasploit table. So if I hit enter like this, it gives us a series of information here. The first one is brute force. We are brute forcing the Metasploit table. It means that we want to use a series of passwords and usernames and match them together to see which username is going to match with which password, and then we can get it, and then we hack or we exploit the Metasploit table. But before we continue, let me go back here and show you that I had already created these files with the username and password. Now if you come here, let's just come here. If I do an ls like this, this is the file that I created here. This file contains usernames or passwords, and this one contains usernames. So without wasting much time, let us go back. Now we have known what brute force is. We need it. We also need a pass file. This pass file here is a file that is going to contain the list of passwords proposed password which you are thinking that could be the password to the Metasploit table. And then the second thing is we need to set a remote host. What is remote host? Remote host is like you are telling Kali Linux that you want to sit here at the comfort of your home or maybe in your coffee shop and remotely log in into the Metasploit table. So after setting that, we are going to set stop on success. Here you can see that it is false. We are going to set it to be true. Excuse me. Why are we setting it to be true? That is because we want that during the period of comparison whereby we are going to be brute forcing by looking at the username that is going to match with the password. When the system or when Kali Linux sees a name that matches the password, it should stop the search immediately. It shouldn't continue to save our time. And then the last thing that we are going to be needing is the user file here. The user file here is now the file that contains a list of proposed list of names of people that we may think that we can use to match with those password. Because normally whenever you want to log into a system, you provide a username and a password. Now that we have known these things, we can now start. I will say set rhost, which is the remote host. The remote host here, who do I want to exploit? I want to exploit the Metasploit table. You can now see why we first of all looked for the Metasploit table IP address, because that is the victim we want to exploit. And the IP address was 192.168.40.130. Now you hit enter. It tells you that our host has been set. The next thing we set is we set the password files. So you say set and you say pass_file, and then you set the directory in which these files are found. If you come here, you see that our files are found in the home directory of Kali Linux here. This is the home directory where our files, which is the password file and the usernames, are found. Now that since we want to set the password, I will just copy this password here, this password file here, and then I go back to where I am doing my brute forcing, and I'm going to first of all specify the directory. The directory is the home directory of Kali Linux. So this is how you set the home directory of Kali Linux, and then I am just going to paste my pass files here, and I hit enter. It shows that the pass file has been set. So the next thing now that we're going to be doing is we're going to set the username files. We want to go back and bring the list of usernames here, these usernames here that I'm going to copy right now. We want to bring it, we want to bring it or take it to the Metasploit console. So I will go back here and I'm going to say set user file, user_file, and I specify the same directory. Take note, if you set a different directory, you are not going to get your result. And now I am going to paste that username there, username file here. It says unknown. Okay, let's go back again and see what happened. Users. Okay, the problem is that we are supposed to put an underscore here, like this, and not a dash. So look at it now, it's going to tell us that it has worked. It says user file created already. So now the next thing is we have to say set a stop on success. So I say set stop _on_success, like this. Now here it is false. I am going to set it to be true. I repeat, why am I doing this? I am telling the Metasploit framework that as you want to brute force the Metasploit operating system, whenever you found the username that matches with the password, the correct username and password, stop the search immediately. So I'm going to hit enter like this. It says stop on success true. If you want to prove that everything is okay, you say show options again, and you hit enter. Show options with an S. You hit enter, and now you can see that our pass file has been set. This is our password file here. It has been set. Our remote host, which is the Metasploit table IP address or the victim that we want to hack or exploit has been set. Our stop on success has been set from false to true, and our username file has also been set here. Guys, we are done. The next thing now you want to do is you are now telling the Metasploit framework, please exploit this guy. You hit an enter like this. It shows you that 192.168.40.130 is starting the brute force on port 22. So guys, in your system, it's going to take some time, as you can see here. So don't panic, don't be pressured. Just take a cup of coffee and wait for it to do its brute force. So now we are done with it. Look at it here. Initially we type exploit. Now if you look here critically, you are going to see that where you have this green option here, you see that this is our IP address here and the port number, which is port 22, which stands for secure shell. Now look at it here, my friends. Success. It means that we have successfully exploited the Metasploit table. And you can see that this is the username and here is a corresponding password to it. Meaning that in the Metasploit table here, if you want to log into the Metasploit table, you are going to use msfadmin as the username and then msfadmin as the password. So what is this telling us? It is telling us that as a system administrator, you should avoid using default credentials. It is telling us that you should avoid using such short passwords which can be easily guessable. So let us continue. Now, right now, the next thing we want to do is we want to open what we call a reverse TCP. What is reverse TCP? Reverse TCP is that we are going to be telling the Metasploit table that please connect back to us in Kali Linux so that we can exploit, so that we can create files, maybe create files here in Kali Linux and see them in the Metasploit table, or create files in the Metasploit table and see them in Kali Linux. So how do I do this, or how do I create this reverse TCP? I am going to type sessions with an S, take note, -u, and then I put session 1. I am opening a session like this, and you see that it says started reverse TCP handler. So meaning that the Metasploit table or operating system is already open for connection. And then the next thing now we are going to do is we are going to set what we call a metapreter session. What is a metapreter? We are simply going to be telling the Metasploit table that it should open a shell, or we want to create a shell between the attacker machine, which in our case is Kali Linux, and the Metasploit table, which is the victim. So how do I do this? I will say session with an S, sessions with an S, and then I put 2 like this, and I hit enter. At this point in time, we have successfully exploited the Metasploit table. It shows that the metapreter has already been opened here. Guys, if now you want to see proof that you are already inside the Metasploit table while in your Kali Linux, just do something like this: sysinfo to get the information about the Metasploit table. If I hit enter here, look at it. This is very interesting. The computer name is what? Metasploit table. Take note that we are in the Kali Linux operating system. And then now, the operating system that is accorded to the Metasploit table is Ubuntu 0.84 and this other information here. Now, what can we do to prove further that we are in the Metasploit table? Let us go on to see the type of files that are found in the Metasploit table. Take note that when we started this tutorial, I told you to take note of the Metasploit table files. If I do an ls here, you will see that there is a file here called Paul, and there is a file in the Metasploit table called vulnerable. Now let us prove our point here. If we come back here and do just an ls like this, look at it. You are seeing Paul here. This is Paul, and this is another file here called vulnerable. So now you can play with it. You may want now to maybe delete this Paul. It's possible, or to see whatever the thing that is found inside this vulnerable. But I would not like this tutorial to be too long. the message you've seen here is how you can successfully hack or exploit the Metasploit table. Take note, this video is for learning purposes only. To beat the bad guys, you must know what they do and be one step ahead of them. So thank you and have a wonderful day. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos like this. Thank you.